Okay, we are live streaming. I'll just share the link.
I request all the participants to see that they are muted. Ria, Kanisha, if you could please mute yourself.
I think we'll start. We don't want to keep the people who have joined waiting. So, a very good evening to everyone who has taken our time to come for our event today. Our event is called Better Safe Than Sorry. It's a 2-day event today and tomorrow for approximately an hour each. And we've undertaken this event to commemorate tomorrow, which is World Patient Safety Day, the 9th of December. And this event is being conducted by the Bioethics Unit of the Rotaract Club of Caduceus. And I'm Sumaiya. I'm a unit member of the Bioethics Unit. And our speakers for the day will be Prakriti and Sudhan. Guys, could you please introduce yourselves?
Hi everyone, I'm Prakriti. I'll be taking the middle part of the session. I'm from MS Ramaya in Bangalore.
Sudhan? Okay, I think there's some network issues on his end. Regardless, Sudhan is also a unit member and he'll be starting off. We are very honored to have our respected guest, Dr. Princy ma'am today, who will, be attending our event, judging our entire presentation, and also be taking questions because while we aren't experts, we're just bioethics enthusiasts, but ma'am is an expert. So she will, be there to guide us and give you all the correct answers, which we at our level will not be able to provide. I would actually like Sudhan to introduce ma'am, but I think he's having some network issues. So if we could just wait for a few seconds. Sorry about there's so many network issues that always come up. Also, for everyone on call, we would like to tell you that this event, we've tried our level best to make it interesting and interactive. So do stay on till the very end. We've divided the event as patient rights, which we're going to cover today, and patient safety, which we're going to cover tomorrow. So patient rights, we're going to talk about the factual part, and then the majority of today's session will be case discussions and talking about, we have some video clips from a few famous medical shows where we're going to talk about certain incidents. So do stay on for the entirety and do participate because we would like a good interaction and a good discussion from everyone who is on call. So Sudhan, are you there? Sudhan, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi, Sudhan.
Hi, I'm so sorry, guys. It just logged me out. I'm so sorry for the delay.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Will you please introduce ma'am?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Guys, we're all so pleased to have Princy Lewis, who is currently the HOD professor at the Department of Pharmacology School of Medicine, Kochi, and is also the head South India Unit UNESCO Chair in Bioethics, HAIFA, National Chair of Indian program, and she has worked 5 years at Academy of Medical Science IRM and 16 years at Father Muller Medical College, Mangalore. Has over 80 indexed peer-reviewed international articles, over 18 textbook chapters, 2 textbooks, and a reviewer for many journals, and is on the editorial board for the Austin Journal of Pharmacology. Ma'am is also an avid researcher and has received the RGHS Grand Prize of over of around 7 lakh rupees. She is also involved in the medical education and completed basic and MCI, and the list could go on and on and on. And I would also like to add some. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Hello?
We can hear you.
And I would also like to add Princy. Yeah, that told. Uh, ma'am,
Sudhan, actually, we can't hear you. Your voice is breaking.
college, and I also being the alumni for the same. And ma'am, actually, am I audible now? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, it's slightly better. Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, and ma'am is probably one of the kindest, sweetest, and easily approachable individuals, and one of the most knowledgeable people in the field of bioethics. So thank you, ma'am, for agreeing to come to our event, and it is our pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's a
Now
real
would you like to say
pleasure.
a few words? Yes, thank you.
It's a real pleasure to be here, and I like to see, and we all, especially Dr. Russell, Dr. Mary, all of us, we love to see the young upcoming doctors, the physicians in training, taking on subjects and matters that are really making them into the professional they have to be. So when you start out young and start out well, you have already won the, healthcare will be something everybody can look onto. And today's topic of patient safety and patient rights that will be deliberated in the coming 2 days. And they have shifted patient rights for today and patient safety for tomorrow. Um, yeah, this is something which is very, very essential. Human rights is just the right that you have just because of the virtue that you are a human being. So from this develops the human rights, which came through as the Bill of Rights in the USA and the Charter of Patient Rights in the Europe. So these are the ways that the human rights and now the patient rights have come through, and we are all by default supposed to show the patient bill of rights should be kept. The patient should be aware of his rights. He has the rights, but many of us do not know that we have the rights. So it is our duty that we tell them of the rights, and hence it should be displayed at areas which can be seen by the general public. So the bystanders, the patients themselves, will know what rights they are entitled to. And I would say the first and the simplest one, which we do not adhere to, is being courteous to our patients. And mind you, all the rights are for all the people. These any patient on every patient of any ethnic, geographical location, political ideology, they have to be given this basic patient rights. And these rights are inalienable. That means it cannot be removed out of the person, and it is indivisible. You cannot tell you can have this right but not this right. Okay. So the human rights are basic and inherent on the person's dignity, inherent dignity of the human being, from which stems everything. That is law and ethics stems from basic ethics, and that is lynched on human dignity. Okay, right. I shall stop for now. I think we should go into the presentations. There's something wonderful awaiting us. So we'll see the questions that have been taught.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Sudhan, would you like to take over? I'll share my screen.
Sure, Sumaiya.
Sorry, give me a minute. Can you see my screen?
No, Sumaiya, not yet. Yeah,
Yes,
can
yes,
see
it's
it.
visible.
Sure. Okay, so before we start off, guys, I would like to say sorry for the technical glitches once again. So I guess everything is all right now. So let's get started. Okay, so our is going to be divided into three main parts. The first part is just going to be of some factual information, and then we are going to jump into the interesting part, which is going to be a case discussion. This is going to be an interactive session where you guys will get to participate too. And then the last part is kind of a surprise where you guys, I'm pretty sure you'll all love it no matter what happens. And okay, so let's first dive into the basic theory of what our topic is for today. So that's patient rights. Okay, so the first and foremost, the people must know the Charter of Patient Rights. So what under the the Charter draws upon the 1940, the Clinical Establishment Act of 2010, and the various judgments by the Supreme Court of India, among other sources. So now we'll be discussing what the Charter of Patient Rights in detail and the Yep. So what exactly does the Charter aim to address? There are three main points. So the first being to provide a reference for state governments to enact or modify the existing regulation. And the second is to provide a framework of healthcare standards for service providers. And the third, to raise awareness among patients about their rights. So this charter, which was drafted in the year 2018, plans to act as a reference so that all the state governments could modify their already existing regulations. And this, as different states already have their already pre-existing notions and regulations, this helps in forming a common consensus so that all state governments would have a similar and regular curriculum that everybody could follow. Okay, so now coming to the 17 rights that the 17 recognized patient rights that the Charter of Patient Rights lists, and we will be going through each one of them in brief detail. Okay, so the first one being right to information. Probably and it just means that every patient has the right to know what is the illness that they're suffering from, its causes, the status of the diagnosis, be it provisional or confirmed, the expected cost of the treatment, and furthermore, the service provider should communicate this in a manner that is understandable for the patient. And that's the first right. Pretty straightforward. And the second one is the right to informed consent. As all of you are well aware, it's the patients have the right to be asked for their informed consent before submitting to potentially hazardous treatment. And physicians should clearly explain the risk from receiving the treatment and only administer the treatment after getting explicit written consent from the patient. Now going on to the third. Okay, the third right to emergency care. It is that the public and private hospitals have an obligation to provide emergency medical care regardless of the patient's capacity to pay for the services. probably this is one of the gray areas that still remains. And as future healthcare professionals, we probably would have all pondered on what exactly to do. And I guess this provides some insight that the right to emergency care is something that we all need to keep in mind. And all public and private hospitals have an obligation to provide emergency medical care, regardless of the patient's capacity. And the next one being right records and reports. And it says that the patient has the right to access his or her medical records and investigation reports. And service providers should make these available upon the patient's payment of any photocopy fees as applicable. And the next one being right to second opinion. And this means that patients are entitled to seek a second opinion, and hospitals should facilitate any information or records that the patient requires to do so if he or she wishes to do the same. And then comes the right to safety and quality care according to standards. And this states that hospitals must ensure a hygienic and sanitized environment to provide their services. Yeah. And now coming to the right to confidentiality, human dignity, and privacy. It states that doctors should observe strict confidentiality of a patient's condition, with the only exception of potential threats to public health. In case of a physical inspection by a male doctor on a female patient, the latter has the right to have a female person present throughout the procedure. And hospitals also have an obligation to secure patient information from any external threats. And we also have right to discrimination, which states that service providers cannot deny treatment on the basis of gender or caste, religion, age, sexual orientation, or social origins. Additionally, it is against the Charter to deny treatment on the basis of a patient's health condition, including the hepatitis. So these 17 rights are quite lengthy, but these are so guys, please bear with me. And this will provide a basis as a main basis to your discussions and the surprise we have on in store for you. Okay, so back to business. So we have a right to transparency in rates and care according to prescribed rates wherever relevant. That means hospitals should display the rates that they charge in a visible manner, and patients should receive an itemized bill when the payment is required. Essential medicines, devices, and implants should comply with rates established by the National Pharmaceutical, the NPPA. And then we have the right to proper referral and transfer, which is free from perverse commercial influences. In case of transfer, the patient has the right to an explanation that justifies the transfer, as well as confirmation from the hospital receiving the patient about their acceptance of the transfer. Yep. Now we have the right to patient education. So what does that mean? In addition to information about the condition, patients have the right to know about such as insurance schemes and charitable hospitals. And in a possible that poor patients are not well aware of the insurance schemes and the charitable hospitals that provide services at a subsidized rate.